In today's modern era of marriage, cases of women cheating are no longer uncommon. Women have affairs for many reasons, because of a lack of love, dissatisfaction with their married life, or even as revenge for a husband's infidelity. When love begins to fade, after all the temptations of life, and during those moments of vulnerability, it only takes a few careless minutes, a few seconds of weakness, and a brief instant of wavering for a woman to cross the line. If the circumstances align, like frequent business trips, long absences, or prolonged loneliness, it can be enough for a woman to fall into an affair. Dear listeners, welcome to the short story entitled When a Woman Cheats. Let's find out together how this story unfolds. I am Mary, working in the Human Resources Department of an import-export company with an office in Los Angeles. I was born and raised in Texas. After graduating from university with a fairly good degree in hand, I packed my bags and headed to Los Angeles to start my career. When I left home, I had only $500, the amount my mother had carefully saved up for me, along with my father's encouragement to strive for success. At that time, I was filled with youthful enthusiasm and big dreams. Carrying those ambitions on my shoulders, I wandered from company to company in Los Angeles, trying to build a future. It's been more than 10 years since then. The achievements I've made aren't extraordinary, but I am still proud of what I've gone through. By the age of 43, I had built my mother a house back in Texas, supported my 2 younger siblings through school, and even bought myself a house in Los Angeles. My salary from work wasn't very high, but I made some outside investments, so my income was decent. Because I was so focused on earning money, I only got married 3 years ago. Marriage was never really a priority for me, but my parents kept urging me, so eventually, I accepted a match arranged through family connections. My husband and I got married after just 3 video calls. My friends all told me I was naive. "What era is this, and you're still marrying through matchmaking," they said. But to me, it seemed fine. I accepted it because he was someone my parents chose. He is 10 years older than me, with a stable job and a good income. There's nothing about him to complain about, except that I still don't truly know what kind of person he is. Would we really be compatible living together? I kept telling myself it wasn't such a big deal. After all, no one is born perfectly suited to another person. 2 people have to adapt and change to make a relationship work. And so, after a brief period of getting to know each other, our wedding took place. But once we were living under the same roof, I discovered something shocking: he hadn't married me willingly at all. He had been forced into it. He told me he didn't even like women. The person he loved was an 18-year-old photographer. He admitted he could never share a bed with me, let alone love me. On our wedding night, when any woman would be full of expectation, we spent the entire night talking about life instead. I was devastated to hear the truth. Imagine, your husband on your very first night together confessing that he is in love with another man. Still, I stayed silent and listened. He explained that his parents didn't want him to love men, so they forced him to marry. He had tried everything, excuses, refusals, but nothing worked. All he could do was apologize, saying he had ruined my life. Surprisingly, I didn't feel anger toward him. Instead, I pitied him. Love is love, whether it's between 2 men, 2 women, or a man and a woman. Why should such love be forbidden? I told him, all right then. I'll play along with this act. We agreed, we would live in the same house but never share a bed. He could see his lover, but under no circumstances could he bring him home. If our parents found out, they would never forgive us. He didn't answer me when I asked what my parents would think. He only looked at me with guilt, knowing how unfair this was to me. But we had no other choice. At least we could keep up the facade for a year and then divorce, citing incompatibility. That was the plan. And so we lived together in that house. I wasn't desperate for marriage or children, so I went along with it. A year passed, yet he never mentioned divorce. We continued living together, and now it has already been 3 years. We still eat meals together, share the same home, and confide in each other about everyday matters, everything except intimacy. We treated each other like close friends, acting in a play to deceive our families. I thought I would spend the rest of my life settled with this husband in name only. That is, until I met Luke. He was 25 years old, just starting his first day as a trainee at my company. With Luke, it was like being struck by lightning. The moment I saw him, my heart felt as if it would leap out of my chest. Honestly, I had never loved anyone this deeply before. I had never imagined I could be drawn to a man his age. Yet, from the day Luke appeared, everything about me began to change. I started dressing more stylishly, becoming more feminine, paying extra attention to my appearance. My coworkers teased me, asking if my husband wasn't jealous. No one knew the truth of my marriage. Since the day Luke joined the company, I constantly found excuses to guide him with work so I could be closer to him. Luke looked incredibly attractive in his neatly tucked-in dress shirt. His hair was always trimmed short, his eyebrows thick, and his eyelashes longer than most girls. Everything about him pulled me in. I was a woman who thought she had lost all interest in love, but Luke brought color back into my life. We clicked at work, we connected easily in our conversations. I even added Luke on social media to exchange messages and help him with things he didn't quite understand yet. Slowly, we grew closer. He never called me Ms. Mary, just Mary, while referring to himself casually as me. That evening, after a long tiring day at the office, I came home. My husband wasn't there. He had texted to say it was his boyfriend's birthday and that he wouldn't be having dinner with me. Alone again, I didn't feel like cooking. I sprawled on the couch, half watching a drama on TV. After a while, I thought of texting Luke, since he lived not too far from me. I typed and deleted and typed again. Finally, I gathered the courage and sent a short message. Have you had dinner yet? Do you want to grab a meal with me? 10 minutes passed. No reply. I sighed, stood up to take a shower, when suddenly my phone rang. His name flashed across the screen. Hello, it's me, I answered quickly. Sorry, I didn't notice your text earlier, I was in the shower, Luke said cheerfully. I already had dinner with my wife. She doesn't let me go out at night. He laughed lightly as he spoke. But he didn't know that on my end, it felt like someone was crushing my heart with their hands. Then I heard a woman's voice in the background, who's that, honey? So. Luke was married. He already had a wife. Maybe even kids. I bit my lip, forcing myself to hide the sting in my voice. Oh, I see. That's fine. I just thought you might be free to grab a bite. Never mind. All right then, see you tomorrow, I added quickly. Sure, see you, Luke replied, before hanging up. I put down my phone. The man I wanted to pursue already had a family. He belonged to someone else. I felt like a woman who had just been heartbroken, though I couldn't understand why I was feeling this way. I had only just met him. And yet, hearing that he was already married left me suffocated. An emptiness spread inside me. Suddenly, I felt unbearably sad, with no one to confide in. I called a taxi and went to a bar near my place. Carrying the sorrow of a broken heart, I drank glass after glass. Until finally, the nausea hit me, I was drunk. For some reason, in that hazy moment, I pressed Luke's number and called him. I told him I was drunk and wanted him to take me home. But I was still sober enough to clearly hear his wife's annoyed voice on the other end. Why is she calling you? Why doesn't she call her husband if she's drunk? Why you? You're not going anywhere tonight. Then the line went dead. I thought for sure Luke wouldn't come. I was troubling him too much already. I decided that tomorrow, I'd just apologize, claiming I was too drunk to know what I was doing. Disappointed, I forced myself to stay awake and tried to get home on my own. I asked the waiter for a glass of lemonade with ice, then asked for the bill. Just as I was about to stand up, I heard someone calling me. Mary, are you okay? Why are you drinking alone until you're this drunk? In my daze, I couldn't tell if Luke was really standing there or if I was imagining it. I reached for his hand, felt the warmth of his skin, and suddenly threw my arms around him. I thought you wouldn't come. Please, take me home, I'm so tired. Luke gently steadied me and hailed a taxi. Apparently, he hadn't driven either. Once we got in the cab, he asked me for my address. Tell me where you live, so the driver can take you home. I'll ride with you, and once you're safe, I'll head back to my place. But I shook my head. I don't want to go home. Take me somewhere else. Luke didn't understand what I meant. He thought I was just babbling nonsense because I was drunk. Your house is nearby. Just give me the address so I can get you back. Otherwise, your husband will be worried. I don't have a husband, I said casually. Luke looked uneasy, glancing at the driver before turning back to me. You're drunk. Let me just take you home. Tell me your address. But suddenly, I snapped at him. I told you, I don't want to go home. If you can't take me somewhere else, then go back to your wife. I'll manage on my own. Luke was startled by my outburst. He didn't understand why I was acting the way I was. Feeling uneasy, Luke finally told the cab driver. Sir, please just take us to any hotel nearby. I'll get her a room to rest, then I'll head home. I knew he thought I was simply drunk. He didn't want to argue with someone intoxicated, so he gave in to my demand. After a short drive, the car stopped in front of a modest hotel. Luke paid the fare, helped me inside, booked a room with his own ID, and led me to the elevator. Pressed close to his side, my heart pounded wildly. His scent felt almost hypnotic. He was a full head taller than me, his frame strong and protective, it made me melt in his arms. To be honest, from my school years to adulthood, I had always been too busy, first with studies, then with work. I had never really experienced love. And now, leaning on a man like this, I felt a longing that words could not describe. As soon as the room door opened, Luke let go of me. Mary, just get some sleep. You still have work tomorrow. I'm leaving now, he said, turning to go. But I quickly grabbed his hand, pulling him back into my embrace. Stay with me tonight. Please. I don't want to be alone. I can't, Mary, he said firmly. My wife is waiting at home. She's been texting me nonstop. If I don't go back, she'll tear the whole city apart looking for me. He laughed at his own exaggeration, but I could tell it wasn't far from the truth. His wife was known to be unpredictable. I tightened my grip and pulled him inside, shutting the door behind us. He didn't resist, which gave me courage. Let her look for you, just stay here with me. It's only one night. I need you right now. Why don't you call your husband instead, he asked. I told you, I don't have a husband, I said bitterly. What I have is only a marriage in name. He and we've never even been intimate. The alcohol loosened my tongue. I pulled Luke down beside me and confessed everything I had hidden from everyone, the truth about my marriage, my loneliness, and most of all, my feelings for him. I like you, Luke. I want you to be mine. Do you know why I'm drunk tonight? Because of heartbreak. And that heartbreak is because of you. Luke lowered his eyes, sadness flickering across his face. I can feel your affection, Mary. And I admit, I do have some feelings for you too. But we're both married. We can't replace what we already have. His words pierced me like a blade. My tears fell uncontrollably. But we do have feelings for each other. Why can't we be together? I whispered. He held me gently and said, what we feel right now is only a fleeting passion, Mary. It isn't real love. But I didn't see it that way. If this wasn't love, then why was my heart aching? Why was I suffering like this? I gathered the courage to say what I truly wanted. Luke, can we belong to each other tonight? Just for this one night. That would be enough for me. I couldn't believe those words came out of my mouth. I couldn't believe I was begging for the love of a man who already had a wife. Begging not just for love, but even lowering myself to plead for one night of physical comfort. But once the words were spoken, there was no taking them back. And deep inside, I knew that was exactly what I wanted. I used my drunkenness as an excuse to speak it out loud. Yet Luke still refused. I don't want to betray my wife, Mary. And I'm afraid tomorrow, when you're sober, you'll regret what you said tonight. Panicked, as if he might slip away, I rushed to answer. No, I won't regret it. I just want you to be mine, even if it's only for tonight. Luke seemed to waver. He thought I was drunk and pushing too far. Are you sure you won't regret this? Because if tomorrow you blame me, I won't know what to do. I forced a smile. Then give me more nights like this. That way, I'll never regret it. You'll only be giving, not losing. Luke gave a half laugh as if surrendering. You know this is you forcing me, right? It's not what I wanted. But I could tell from his body, from his reaction, that he couldn't stop anymore. I teased him softly, all right then, I won't force you. Go back to your wife. He brushed his lips against my cheek and whispered, so you start a fire, and now you won't let it burn? I'm not leaving anymore. Not until this fire dies out. And with that, Luke leaned down and kissed me. It had been so long, too long. My whole body trembled. I couldn't remember the last time a man had awakened my emotions this way. The last time I had been this close, this vulnerable, this alive. All those years of living with a husband in name only, without intimacy, I had thought I'd forgotten what it meant to be a woman. I thought my desires had withered and died. But now, Luke was setting everything inside me ablaze. In that moment, I couldn't think of right or wrong, couldn't remember that I had a husband, or that he had a wife. All I could feel was the hunger inside me. Everything I had bottled up for so long was finally pouring out. I had restrained myself for too many years, and now I was surrendering to my desires like a completely different woman. He was the one who touched my soul. He set me ablaze. Waves of shivers burned through my body, one after another. The long-suppressed cravings inside me erupted. At that moment, Luke whispered to me. How long has it been since you've been close to a man? I could barely think straight. So long I can't even remember anymore. You're the one giving me back everything I thought I had forgotten. Luke kept going, carrying me through those intoxicating moments. The more he touched me, the more I lost myself. I didn't understand why I was doing this, but it made me so happy. I don't have much experience, Luke murmured. If I can't satisfy you, please don't be upset with me. I laughed softly, clinging to him. You have a wife and child, and you're telling me you have no experience? If you don't, then do it more, and you'll learn. I said things I never thought I would ever say. Bold, shameless things, pulled out of me by desire. Luke shifted me, sitting, lying, turning me left and right, finding every way to awaken me. He was clumsy, but still bold, fierce with the recklessness of youth. He wanted to conquer, to prove himself, giving me everything with raw intensity. I clung to him tightly, wanting to carve him into my very being. I wanted us to be one, to merge completely. I was spinning in that storm of longing, receiving a kind of passion I had never known before, not since the very beginning of knowing what love was. Then came the selfish desire again, to keep him only for myself. Between breaths, between waves of ecstasy, I whispered. Can you be mine? Just mine? I want you for myself. Luke held me tighter. Why are you so greedy, Mary? You said tonight was all you wanted. Just one night. But how can I forget when you make me feel this way? Without you, how will I even sleep? Luke sighed heavily. I knew I was adding pressure on him, but I couldn't stop. You have to understand, I already have a wife and child. She loves me very much. Maybe she isn't as attractive as you, but her love is deep, Mary. And I love you too, I whispered desperately. I cut off Luke's words, clinging to the excuse of drunkenness to act recklessly. I told him, I can love you too. I can take care of you. I saw the troubled look on his face, it broke my heart. I just want to say it, that's all. Even if you only give me a little of your time, I'll already be grateful. I don't dare dream of keeping you all to myself. Luke furrowed his brows tightly. Mary, do you plan to sneak around with me like this for the rest of your life? Don't you think about divorcing and finding someone new? His words hit me right where my hidden fears lived. How long could we continue like this, sneaking, stealing moments? How many months, how many days could Luke really stay with me? But I didn't want to think about that now. What I wanted, what I clung to, was the ecstasy he gave me. The moments of passion we had shared. I looked at him and whispered from the deepest part of my heart. As long as you're with me, that's enough. Whether in the dark or in the light, secret or open, I don't care. I just want to be with you. Luke smirked playfully, tilting his lips. So I'm that good, huh? Good enough that you can't forget me, even after just your first times? I nuzzled my nose against his, smiling. You've made me unforgettable for the rest of my life. You say you have no experience, but you've lifted me all the way to the clouds. Pleased by my words, Luke looked completely satisfied. It was like praise only spurred him further. He pulled me close again, ready for another round. Then let's not sleep tonight, Mary. Let's stay awake together until morning. Before I could even answer, he had already begun again, giving me everything he had. And so, over and over, we held on to each other, melting into one another. Until finally, after who knows how long, we both drifted into sleep in each other's arms. When the sound of the alarm rang out, I slowly opened my eyes. Luke was right beside me, one arm under my head, the other wrapped around me. I didn't dare move, afraid of waking him. I just lay there quietly, gazing at his face, those strong, masculine features. His firm arm held me as if shielding me from every storm in life. How I wished he could be mine alone. I felt happiness, but a happiness stolen from someone else, not truly my own. I thought about his wife back home. Waking up in the morning, finding her husband gone all night, discovering that he never came back, surely she would be devastated. Yet my selfishness wouldn't let me let go of this man. I didn't want to take him away, but I couldn't walk away either. I wanted to share him with her, as twisted as that sounded. I knew I was on the wrong path, but I couldn't stop. Then Luke opened his eyes. He gave me a gentle smile and whispered, "Good morning." Just those two words were enough for me to close my eyes, pretending not to see the truth, choosing instead to keep walking down this forbidden road. Just once, I wanted to fully savor this stolen happiness. Just a little more time, to adjust my feelings, before giving everything back to where it belonged. Just a little more time. Dear listeners, our short story ends here. But the question remains, was this woman selfish, choosing to be with a man who already had a family?